What's up, Rockstars, and welcome to one of my favorite videos to do every single year, my top 10 anticipated campaigns for 2022. So next year, what am I looking forward to based off everything I've shown publicly, which includes all the reveals that I did last time, linked down below to that video, but I'm super excited to rank them from number 10 to number 1. Let's get to it. Now, before we jump into all of the awesome campaigns that are coming up that I'm excited about, I want to also tell you guys about something I'm always excited about sharing, and that's that exclusive 10% discount code down in the description below to Into the AM, who make awesome shirts just like this one. Guys, I wear these all the time. You know that. Whether they're sponsored or not, I am always wearing these, guys. Trust me, it's amazing. The shirts are fantastic. They fit very well. They look great. They keep the color. I've washed this dozens and dozens of times. I've worn this shirt more than I would care to count. It looks like I just got it brand new. Guys, it is fantastic. They have some great new designs, by the way, I wanted to point out. So, like, if you go to the link down below, again, you will save 10% on top of anything else. And they have some cool stuff. Like, they have the freaking repairs tee. Super cool. I love that he's like going through space repair and stuff. They have freaking ice cream space dudes. Always cool. They even have like this Panther one. Looks killer. I love it. This one right here, I love it just because like they've done the tribal kind of stuff before, or not the tribal, but like, you know, the more nature stuff, but I think it fits really, really well with the outline of the Panther like this. Super cool. And of course, a bajillion other freaking awesome shirts available to you guys at a cheaper discounted price, thanks to them and that code down in the description below. Guys, thank you so much for always supporting Into the AM, one of the sponsors of this channel, and thank you Into the AM for always sponsoring this channel and this community so that we can continue to have a bright future in 2022 full of cool shirts and cool games. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and jump into those campaigns now. Additionally, I'm also running a fundraiser this year, and so there is a link down below to that. That ends January 14th. There's a lot of thank you gifts that I am able to give back to you guys, so you might want to check that. There's over 90 games available right now, so a ton there. Go and check it out, and if you would like to donate, again, thank you so much, and it greatly, greatly helps bring a very strong 2022. Speaking of a strong 2022, let's take a look at some of the campaigns. They're going to be asking us, including me, a lot of our money, so I'm super excited to get excited about spending money. Let's do this. Now, before I go ahead and do this, if you haven't seen my video for revealing all the games, I do suggest you do that because I would like you to create a list alongside with me. Not so much that we can compare, though I am very interested in what you guys are interested in, because that allows us to see where we align, maybe where I need to do some videos, but it allows you to keep a top 10 list so that anytime the hype machine, the FOMO machine comes up and you see a fancy new shiny game on Kickstarter or on GameFound and you're like, ooh, that looks good, then you can look at your top 10 or your top 15 or whatever it might be, top 6, and think, okay, what would I take away to put that in? And if you wouldn't take anything away, maybe you don't actually need it. It's a good way to actually save money and focus on what the big ones are for you, so you get that stuff on your table and not just sitting on a shelf behind you. Now, these games are played all the time, but that's not the point. The point is that, like, you need to focus on what's important. It's why I make these top lists, because then I realize I know what I like, I know why I like it, and you only do that through creating lists. So please feel free to make a list, and if you do want to share, you can go in and comment down below. I would love to read what you're looking forward to and what your kind of interests are. Maybe there's something you're interested in that I haven't even heard of yet. I would love to know about that too. Now let's go in and dive right in. Starting things out is Heroes of Might and Magic 3, the board game. This was announced by Archon and it looks super cool. I have a link down below to all of this kind of stuff. So that there's just a ton of links down there. You can link to anything that you see, including my old videos if you want to know more about these. But they have been adding more to their page, and I imagine they're going to continue to. But the more I see, the more I'm actually excited about it. It looks pretty true to what I would imagine. Like, I'm loving seeing all the hex-based map that you get to explore and stuff like that. The minis are going to be great. Normally they do like hips minis. Like it's going to be really, really good looking minis. That is for sure. That's a given from Archon. But even playing their Masters Universe, I was really impressed by them honoring the IP and capturing what I wanted from that IP. So you can put Masters Universe paint on any game, but playing their version of Masters Universe really gave me that Saturday morning cartoon feeling that I feel I wanted from a Masters Universe game. It didn't take itself too seriously. It wasn't dour. It was bright colors. It was fun. It was silly. It was exciting. There were memorable moments. There was fun characters and items and vehicles and mounts and all that kind of stuff. It was great. And so I'm coming from that. This definitely made my top 10 because Heroes of Might and Magic is obviously a great series that I think a lot of us grew up really, really enjoying. And I feel like they can honor that IP and actually not just make it some cash cow, some cash in cheap thing that they throw some paint on, and instead to get to the core kind of like strategic nugget of what we liked with that game and deliver that. So I'm excited to kind of see that and what that all entails and learn more about it. Now, the learn more about it, you're going to see as a theme across this. It's just, we're looking ahead, so we don't know everything. And I think learning more might bump some of these up or maybe even drop some of these down. Who knows? Next up, Limbo 1.6. Limbo Eternal War 1.6, I'm super excited about. I really enjoyed Limbo Eternal War 1.0. I really did. I think the rulebook really needed to explain itself, and there was, some issues with the map and stuff like that. But the actual gameplay, the game mechanics, the game flow, fantastic army building experience and skirmish experience that I really enjoyed. 1.5 is changing quite a few rules around, so I'm a little cautious around that. Anytime you love something and then you hear, oh, hey, there's some more coming out, but it's different. You're like, well, I don't know if I like the different. I'll have to see. But so far, I don't know. But I do know they are announcing like some new factions. You see that dragon there. They showed an angel earlier. That dragon is supposed to be massive, like huge. They do some great minis, so color me excited just about that. But I mean, just look at the theme here. I love it. It's pretty much my bread and butter. This kind of grimdark fantasy, this like violent play. I love all of it. Yes, please give me more. So definitely excited about that. If I really, really enjoyed 1.5, this would probably bump up. So be on the lookout for that. Obviously, I'll get 1.5. I'll tell you guys about it. And then I might update my outlook for 1.6 based off that. So I'll be sure to share that, of course. Now, then there's also Middara Beyond the Veil. Now, we know very little about this. In fact, I don't even know if it'll be 2022, but I know Brooklyn is definitely pushing for, this to be a thing, and it's becoming really legitimate. As you see, they allowed me to announce it, and I am excited. Coming from even just seeing a little bit of like the Kingdom Death Monster Kingdom Death version of like the high school stuff. I actually got one of those for my daughter, the chick playing like the Vita. Love it. It's fantastic. And looking at this, I'm super excited, especially because not only is there a lot of possibility between like fantasy Middara and then like more modern Middara, but some of the other images, and again, I'll link down to this video below for you, like fuse the two in a very cool way from what I can tell, just based off the attire and stuff like that. So the whole idea sounds cool. I like the theme. I like what they're doing with regular Middara, so I'm excited about this. Now, there's a lot of talk about what this game will be, and I don't know if the game will even be for me. It just depends. We all have our tastes and likes and dislikes. But from a pure concept and perspective, and a pure theme perspective, I'm on board. Looks awesome. Super excited about that. Next up, we also have Quantum Shock. This is another thing we don't know a lot about. In fact, this description right here, a cooperative sci-fi and horror board game with miniatures, control time, space, matter, reality, while developing your quantum skills, is about as much as I know about this, except that the theme seems super cool, the idea looks super cool, the concept's neat, and it's been on this page, gathering followers for I don't even know how long. They need to just go ahead and release it already, because I'm actually pretty excited to learn more about it. It definitely is a mature sci-fi, so keep that in mind, of course. But there's a lot of possibility with it, and I really like the angle they're going at with the whole like quantum abilities that you get and stuff like that. Sounds very quantum skills is what they call it. Sounds very promising. I dig it. I want a cool thing that I can like gain powers in and stuff like that I can play with friends and just fight like crazy monsters in a sci-fi world. Sounds awesome. looks wacky and crazy, and the scope seems huge, and definitely excited to learn more about it. Now we also have, and this is exciting, Blood Oak Chapter 1. This is something I've been looking forward to ever since I saw Tinjin and saw this lady right here. Now I can never pronounce her name, so I'm not going to try. I butcher it every time. I don't know why. Like I've done several takes in past videos trying to say that. I just give up. So whatever. Anyway, she's super cool. She's standing on a freaking, like bear head with like sword out, and there's like a scar on her lip, and just the attire, and just looks freaking boss, the haircut and all that. And then you also have like the final version of Tinjin. And look, I've talked to these guys. They are serious about making quality, and they're like borderline perfectionists, and it shows in their miniatures, which are fantastic, and I hope it shows in their game. Now we don't know a whole lot about the game yet, though when I find out more, which I will find out more, I'll let you guys know, of course. But suffice it to say, just based off of my little, dive into their IP, into the world of this, and then just seeing the quality come out from them, super excited for the possibility of the actual board game. It looks awesome. And next up, of course, you guys knew this was going to be here. Senkokushin is definitely on this list, and that is because it has so much potential. It looks so cool. It sounds so cool. But again, I need to know more. It's very hard for me to get super hyped about something that I just don't know. That is kind of a problem I have. I'm very mechanically driven as a gamer of my likes and dislikes. Theme is important. IP is important. Like the art, the way it looks, the way it feels, the way it handles. This is a physical board game that I'm staring at for hours on end on a table with friends. I want it to look neat. However, if the mechanics are subpar, I don't care. Or if I just don't know what the mechanics are, they're just cool pictures and cool renders. Now they've explained a lot about the kind of the AI system, and about the discussion, the talking, the side quests, the city phases and stuff like that. But it's all been pretty high level, and then I don't really know exactly how, how's the actual combat going to play out? In other words, what's the game flow like? Am I going to be spending an hour and a half, 2 hours, just kind of doing reacting to cards in like a city phase kind of thing, and then I battle for an hour, but then my battle for an hour is just kind of reacting to cards, and I don't have a clear picture in my head about how this actually plays, and I would love, and I can't wait to get my hands on it eventually, hopefully, so that I can actually, break that down and really feel the game, if that makes sense. The game flow is very important to me, and mechanics on their own can sound great, but when they're all put together, and there's so much of this, can Access Moody pull it off? I certainly hope so, because if they can, this is going to just skyrocket for them. It's going to be huge and well earned. They're definitely doing their due diligence when it comes to getting ready and having a great prototype ready. So excited to learn more, excited to get my hands on it, and really truly finally say this is going to be something great or not. Definitely on my radar. Speaking of on my radar, Batman Escape from Arkham Asylum. Of course, guys, I love Batman. You know that. I tend to prefer DC over Marvel, so sue me. Just from, what I like in the comics, I tend to like the characters in DC more than the characters in Marvel, for a variety of reasons. Though, I do it by case-by-case basis. So like Spider-Man is always awesome. Everybody loves Spider-Man, though prefer adult Spider-Man. But we're getting distracted here. Okay, so Batman Escape from Arkham Asylum. It's a dungeon crawler. It's a Batman game, but you can't play as Batman, you fight against Batman. Now, first of all, that is a great elevator pitch. And anybody who is designing a game, if you're watching right now, if you're developing a game, figure out how to describe your game as exciting as that in as few sentences as that, or as a few words. 30 seconds, tell me how cool your game is, and get me interested. That is a fantastic, go here to have an example of what to do. It's a dungeon crawler. Okay, got it. I understand. It's a Batman game. Okay, great. Tell me more. But you can't play as Batman. Really? You can only fight against him. Okay. Now, this is going to involve laying traps down and do all sorts of stuff. And they have, the whole slew of Batman stuff. So they have, regular Batman like that, right? They have the movie licenses. They have this Killer Bane here. They got Joker. They got all kinds of, alt sculpts and tons of stuff, and it's by Night Models and Night Games, and Night Models does fantastic minis, so I'm hoping as long as the gameplay's good, that's the key, right? But as long as the gameplay's good, this is a knock out of the park, all in for me, easily. Super excited about that. It was going to actually be 2021, but they had to delay it. So it is delayed, but it'll be early 2022. I'll let you guys know the moment I find out more about this. For sure. Be on the lookout for that very soon, I would imagine. Next up, Kingdoms Forlorn, Dragons, Devils, and Kings. This is such an obvious thing. They announced this for February, and it said the prototypes are ready. I'm hoping I'm getting one. I don't know. I mean, I don't go begging for prototypes, so it's just whoever wants to send them to me can do so. But I very, very, very rarely actually seek out a prototype or ask for a prototype. That's just not my style, and I have so much coming in anyway that seeking out more just seems kind of silly. But I know into the unknown, and I know they know me, so hopefully I get to get my hands on this and share some really, really cool info for you guys. Hopefully it's great. I think it definitely has the potential. It has a very unique aesthetic, a very cool idea that is expansive, that could be its own IP if it wants to. They could definitely expand out from here because all the kingdoms are different, and it just, there's a lot of potential, and it looks super cool. It sounds cool. The gameplay is definitely something we need to know more about, which is always the case. But as soon as I know more, I will let you guys know, of course. Okay, then we have Anastyr by Mythic Games. This is huge. I've actually known about this for quite some time, and I've had to keep mum, and it's been so hard. I was a fan of Mega Metro City. If you recall that, it was a failed Kickstarter campaign that I was all in on automatically. It's like those old like Golden Axe games, or the X-Men, or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or any other themed game. The Simpsons game had that. You have 4 characters, and it was like side scrolling, and you'd move, and you'd be able to like jump on a mount and then attack, and then be jumped out of the mount. And sometimes you'd be able to go into like a building and it'll open up to another side scroll thing and stuff like that. That was Mega Metro City. It didn't work out. Mythic Games is very good, especially with like their Phoenix line and stuff like that, of finding something like, hey, this is actually a good thing. Let's give it the Mythic Games treatment. Let's make it a reality. Let's make it like fantastic and great and elevate it. Exactly what they did here. So this is that same kind of Golden Axe thing, but they actually have put it in the Anastyr theme, which is a theme we've only seen a few minis of before in some past, I think Command had some minis for it, but all the sculpts are unique here, and it just looks fantastic. The theme looks cool. The world seems cool. Super excited to explore this. The gameplay sounds awesome. The moment I get my hands on this, I'm going to be telling you guys all about it. I'm going to be unboxing. I'm going to be loving it. This is super exciting for me. Definitely makes the list. From gameplay, which I know a fair bit about, which helps, and theme. It just checkbox, sold. That's all I need. I need a great game with a cool theme. Make that, sell it to me at a good price. You have my money. It's as easy as that. Now, speaking of which, Celestial is definitely my number one. Purely because the gameplay that I have kind of seen and read about, which I haven't shared everything with you guys. I will have a details video coming out soon. It'll be in January. I'm not going to be able to fit it in this month. It's just too late. But in January, I'll have a details video for you guys with a ton of gameplay details, structure details, story details. You'll have a very good understanding of what Celestial is very soon from that. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, so you can see that and everything else I'm doing. But it looks like no other game, and it has some of the best miniatures I have seen. It's big scale. It's high quality. They aren't going for a whole bunch of, cheap minis. They're going for fantastic minis. This is Nuwa, my favorite miniature I have ever had. Her look, her facial expression, which is right in the mini as well. I've actually painted her. I'll go and link to that below too. So if you want to actually see the miniature in action, it was a resin miniature that's 75mm that you can use in the game. Actually, that's like, they've made her in like hips now, and she looks fantastic. Same thing. That look of like worry and fear with the DNA strand and kind of the oddness around her is so fitting to the story of her, of like a prophet that essentially is saying things that aren't very good. So she's like on the run, and so but then she has like these followers coming. But either way, she's always worried about being backstabbed and all this. And they've kind of described it as like Game of Thrones with like a Chinese lore and then like weird sci-fi stuff going. Look, it's wild. It's crazy. It's a cool world. A fantastic minis, unlike anything I have in my collection. I have a lot in my collection, and a cool looking skirmish game to end it all on, with a focus on like quality. Yes, Yeah, of course. Number one, easily done. Look, guys, I've been looking forward to Celestial for a long time now. And if I'm not mistaken, at least as far as I know, I'm the first one to share information. I'm the first one to get the details out because, again, I'm not focused on maybe what gets the most clicks or what's popular. I'm not just chasing Games Workshop for views or Magic the Gathering for views or whatever the heck else. I cover what I want, and what I want right now is Celestial. So that's what I'm going to be covering. If you appreciate that, again, there is a link down below to my Patreon and, of course, also my fundraiser. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's always a great thing to make that list, even if you don't share it with me, even if you don't put it in the comments so that I can see what you guys are interested in. That's fine. Make it in your head, write it down somewhere, and then anytime FOMO creeps in, anytime you see these games coming in and they're flashing, they look cool, and you're like, oh, I want that game, figure out if you would replace a game on that list. And if the answer is no, do you really need it? How many games do you need? It doesn't have to be 10, it could be 6. Could be 5, could be 15, could be 20. Everybody's different in their play tendencies, in their wants, and what they can afford and whatever. But I would highly suggest you invest in those top games that you know is like your bread and butter, your jam that you're going to get to the table that you're super excited about. And don't waste money chasing every little thing and then end up having it just collect dust on your shelf. All right, that's it for me, guys. I have a few more videos this year, but that is it. We're really closing things out. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll talk to you guys again very, very soon. Bye, guys.